football game in there. Well, today is Thursday, and of course we have a couple of games, including in the game between IU and Muni. We do have IUCU taking on that is MOPS, of course, a game that should be underway right now at Arua Kwa PTC grounds. Then we will have more of the games that probably are being played, including in the game between actually MOPS UCU is at Kwa PTC grounds now. Bugema University taking on the Nile University. That will be a game at 4 p.m. today, as they intend to end the day. Tomorrow, we also have a couple of games. Of course, tomorrow will be the closing ceremony as well. Bugema University taking on Muni. That will be at Kwa PTC grounds at 1 p.m. And then, of course, at 3 p.m., it will then be UCU taking on IU still at the same venue. Of course, the final games probably will be played in there. And the beauty is the closing ceremony will be able to see the institutions get to be awarded for the good job done during this period in there. They don't only have football, they have other disciplines that we may probably be able to focus on. Well, I was also trying to look at the cranes, the famous cranes Namutima. Of course, the cranes journey to various regions. Of course, unfortunately, they will be coming to a region that they have never ever won against. I'm talking about West Nile, a region in India. Well, the bad news about this is, I think this is a hurried stuff. The information came in about 5 days to the event that probably could be on the 20th of October 2024 at Yumbe. I hope it will be at Boma Grounds. Well, one thing that I was looking at is how do we have these fixtures balanced? Because Ondo Paraka has a game I hear against Maida, a big game that will be coming at Greenlight Stadium, a game that is in West Nile, probably that will need attention of the West Nile footballers, because they have restricted it down to a big league and regional league. So that means the players who are supposed to be playing for the region probably again will be mixed up, are probably playing for Ondo Paraka India, because there has not been a notice of probably a postponement in terms of that particular game. So my suggestion is, what about if I came out with a calendar that also has the NAMU team or probably the Cranes visit to the regions in place? And then when the region builds their own idea of having games on, it will also work. Because games were supposed to be starting on the 18th, that probably could have been tomorrow.
Let's
So this
get
is
back to what exactly is happening. Yes, now the FUFA game is one big one. Our the regional, the Namtima team coming through. We shall be discussing about that. Let's look at the University League first, where we have been. I've been asking questions from the organizers about how we're going to be running this University League. Why? Because if you look at how they told me about a section of how they are going to do. In fact, when they came here, I hosted the PRO of the university, Mr. Josh, and the man in charge of technical, that is the DFA chairman, Mr. Apang Rashid. Here, they were telling me about how they are already going for inspections and the rest. It's not certain. I've not seen, maybe people have joined, but the already complaints are rising because some players are already being spotted whom people think are not part of the university. But instead, the University League, these are players whom people stay with every day, and maybe they are wondering what time, what day does this person report for classes or for the university. Now, I want you to be clear about this. Several times we have seen such things happen. Sometimes you see that even people find out that it's true that this is not a student of the university, but sometimes you may not know, maybe if, because according to what they were telling, the PRO was saying that if you are still, if you are for a short course at the campus, you're not allowed to play. Now, someone would be spotted maybe in there, and then if you're a new entrant for a longer term, you can be allowed. So, what brings all this confusion every time? Because some people already saying they have spotted in a few names. Maybe even you could have spotted in few new names who have been there, but you doubt whether they're in university.
Well, I think the game of football is a beautiful game. Before you get to play, you probably have rules in place, and so how these parties utilize the rules probably matters. I think the basic thing here is that when the games were played, before they were played, were there inspections to that effect? If yes, then why is it that there's still kind of players that people are talking about, and I think it will be down to the technical. In case there are players who are spotted and probably are not non-bona fide students, they have an authority or probably freedom to be able to write to the competitions department and of course the technical to be able to look at whether these players actually genuinely playing there. If it is found that the players are not genuinely playing for the clubs or the universities, I think this then will call for probably the teams probably getting bid to be scrapped off the competition, and it is a process to clean up. Even the other university league that is on the other side, there could have been issues. So I think basically those are internal issues that they can be able to work. But then the beauty is that I have hosted, I think, all the finals or the closing ceremonies and opening ceremonies of this particular event. Now, the beauty is that we're seeing students get busy, they engage and probably able to, kind of work things out. But then the difference that probably comes our way is that at this point, you'd want the best for the best. So that means these guys need to sit down and plan. Because I'm not sure whether DFA will have the opportunity to go to the schools and see whether these boys are doing their course units and or probably they're doing their courses at the campuses, or probably some things are working. It is the same universities that do know that these students maybe probably are not, are legit, or the league are supposed to be playing, or probably they are not. So I think at this point, the DFA needs to work with them, all the other parties that are involved in terms of disciplines. That could be netball, could be volleyball, could be any other, to be able to vet. But I think the scenario of seeing everyone go to play in the tertiary institution games, university games, or local games, even the village games, playing every game does not make you a superstar. It only makes you a desperate and probably wannabe. So basically, you just need to make sure that there are things you participate in, things you don't get to participate in. But of course, the beauty is we like to appreciate the DFA. The City Football Association, for the far they have come, would like to encourage the games tutors to probably be able to work or in lines with the rules, and probably be able to develop it better. Because we say a bad loser, I mean a bad winner is actually worth somebody or a team that probably is killing the reputation of the game. Of course, of the 10 golden rules, there is the now those are killing the reputation of the game, of course, which is basically in regard to how we can actually be able to identify wrongdoers amongst the communities. But then people like you or me, any other, that probably could be able to support some of these boys who are not, or girls who are not genuinely in these universities. I think it is important also to tap on the administrators and let them know that something wrong is happening at the university, because there could be a period where this boy you claim that is in IU or MOPS or probably Nai University or Bugema University might not be legit. What about if this is, found out, or probably they are playing in different institutions? Some of them could be in secondary school, some of them could be in different tertiary institutions, not universities. This then would be a bit of criminal stuff in the game of football, because there's aspect of impersonation. Calling UT okay, calling myself Izaga would make no sense.
Okay, of course, that's one of the biggest things that we're trying to see, because a lot of things already happening right there. Wonder one time we should be having some of the one or two names to come and clarify on what exactly is happening, because man, it's not the way you could be expecting right there. But all in all, I think the structures have to work, because if you look at how teams are trying to separate, why this game was organized is, one, they said it's for purpose, and the purpose is to make sure that these teams don't stay idle, the schools. And these schools, this is where maybe the main campuses would identify some of the players that these sub or their branches have. So it's one of the biggest things I think people should look into. But all in all, we need to take on this. If you put rules, you need to follow the rules. When you break them instead, I think it is that cause you're going to be facing throughout the season. But all in all, let's leave that aside. Now, just like say, I'm already seeing adverts going on. Yes, I've seen adverts about how the Namutima team is coming through, how they're going to be playing, and what exactly will be happening. Indeed, it is one thing that everyone is asking questions about. Yes, Onduparaka has a game on 20th. Yes, on 20th, and it's one of the games that you're going to be seeing. First of all, before that, prior to that, you also have 19th, where you're going to be having the Copa Obimu that will be taking place in also Pakwach. So the Aluru Kingdom has this always yearly to sensitize people about pregnancy, teenage marriage, but all in all, you see that Western has a lot of activities that are coming. Some of these players are going to be involved in some of the games that are coming.
And even the administrators too.
Even the administrators will be involved in there. So these are some of the things that are coming. But what about, let's say, Calvary is playing during this weekend. You have Onduparaka playing. You have regional league teams that are still also trying to push and prepare for their league. So which players are they going to use? Because I was seeing that it was limited. In fact, they have postponed the regional league games that are supposed to be this week, starting this weekend. They have pushed them ahead because of this engagement of the NAM team are coming to the country. I mean to Arua. Now the other challenge is, what about playing the team of, what about the players who are supposed to be involved in this game but they are going to play their league game, like Onduparaka Football Club, like Calvary, like Pai the Black Angels, that are still going to be playing during this weekend? Are we going to see them participate?
Well, actually, before we discuss all this, who is the head coach of the West Nile team?
The select.
Who are the players who've been summoned and where are they accommodated at? Of course, we know that these games are for free. Nobody pays to access them. It's not just about supremacy of probably having big numbers, because I think Federation somewhere was probably trying to look at what they can be able to do in trying to influence numbers in the stadium. So as you influence numbers in the stadium, what are those mitigation measures you have in place to make sure that the game of football probably flows better? So I think somewhere we have had a lot of issues. There's a laxity issue, there's an issue to do with integrity, there's an issue to do with RAS, and of course lack of respect for calendar, because already we have big league games in place. You have Copa BIM, which is probably a competition in program of the FUFA as well. So I think this is quite conflicting. Now you wonder yourself why this game is coming just immediately after the South Sudan game. I mean, could it be a way of convincing some of the boys to say that maybe you stay put, you don't need to go to South Sudan, just like Okocha Neko, Wahab, and probably Toha Rashid and many others have done. So I think it's quite tricky, and we should be able to probably look at this and examine it better, because I think somewhere there's a reason for us to postpone this game, maybe, to say that maybe it shouldn't happen, because the Onduparaka players are the other side, and then you could also be able to look at the Calvary players who probably could have engagement the other side, and then you also be looking at the regional league teams, how prepared are the boys. Of course, for you to request a player to come and play for you, you should have written a letter, and that should be pre, and so that is actually a big one. Well, the Copa BIM you're talking about, some of the top-notch administrators, including the competitions committee chair, Rothmio John, is actually the competition's head, and of course he's also involved in the OBCAM.
And you also have by the DFAs, yes, because it's a West Nile thing that you are supposed to have. So the Pakwach DFA is supposed to host this, and obviously the people in charge will be involved in that. So I don't know how hectic that.
Well, it's very complicated. In summary, I think Federation needs to listen to people. We are big stakeholders in this game. Some of us have grown in the game. Some of us have even been in the game more than the leaders who probably are serving the game right now. Only that we don't have political ambitions, and we clean dealers. And so during my period as a media officer of the West Nile province for the last 2 seasons, I have seen a lot of things in football, and I realize football probably is becoming more of like a Ludo. It is losing sense, and so if you have your lack of tossing in the six, then you come out, it works. So Magogo should allow people work. We are not, we're not criminals. We also have a human right. West Nile is a very organized place. If you want to do things with us, give us a better information, allow us to prepare, and we turn up in numbers. We are from Ajumani to Pakwach. We are not just Arua, we're not just Yumbe. We are a bigger entity, and so I think this is a very disturbing story. It could be jubilation for many, but preparations, even if you're receiving visitors have to allow you prepare, because you might need to slaughter them, maybe chicken and stuff like that. And because I think even the players, we've just had a game in Sudan, the players have not recovered. Who are those players that are going to present for us? Are they going to collect players from Bale, from Kisoro? Are they going to be picking boys from West Nile that are going to play West Nile? It's very complicated, and this is about putting the house in order, and the house must be in order for football to be good. We are stakeholders.
All right, we're 23 minutes already past the hour of 2 p.m. in the studios, but still we're moving forward with another interesting story coming right from the FUFA Big League. This weekend we shall be having encounters coming through, and with the actions coming through, with the team of Pai the Black Angels welcoming Muhimba Saints at 4 p.m. at Barrow Stadium. Then you have the team of Karo Karunji that will be taking on Arua Hill Sports Club, whereas Kataka Football Club welcomes Boma FC, and Chigez Homeboys takes on Busoga United, whereas Chiida will be taking on Gaddafi. Onduparaka will be heading for their 4th game against Maida Football Club, Malaba Youth Development Association, whereas Calvary will also be home to welcome, that is Muhimba Saints. So all these games, just like Tokwa was saying, all the West Nile FUFA
teams
big
are
league
playing on
teams
Sunday.
are playing on Sunday and at home.
And of course, one of the big league games should be now West Nile Select take on the FUFA select team, that is the Namu team again. Because that means we have a fixture at Calvary's Midigo. We have
On
a
Sunday.
fixture at,
It's on Sunday.
We have a fixture at Boma in Yumbe. That is very near. We have a fixture at
In
Green
fact,
Estate.
Paida's game is supposed to be tomorrow,
So-
which is tomorrow. Then Onduparaka is on Saturday. I mean, yes, Onduparaka is on on Sunday. Then Paida is also on Sunday. Two big games.
Well, that's where the complication comes.
In
But
fact,
because
yeah.
I just want to be sincere. It is not proper. It does not make sense. And just to focus, I want to talk about Onduparaka Football Club. During this period that the team has its struggles, after having drawn with Paida 0-0 and probably losing to Buhimba team and also losing to Boma, probably those are some big games. But I think it is time to show solidarity and again for the house to sit and look at where the problems are coming from, because at this point it is very critical. There could have been challenges internally that not many people could know. I would have put you to task, but of course, importantly, some of the things that for some of us we know. I think football is tough. Even when Aziz Damani came with big money when I was working at the football club, everyone thought maybe the money would be able to take us far. Sometimes it does not only take the money, it does not also take the personalities that are brilliant. It takes a combination of items. So for these items to be probably be able to operate well, just like keeping the spices together and bringing out a good meal, it is about patience. So it is very important for the fans to probably be able to engineer their settings. Fans should start membership staff, pay some monies that can be able to influence. And then, of course, the technical team should focus. Whoever is on the touchline should remain on touchline. Those who are playing football should just play football. Those who are coaching football should stick to coaching. And then, of course, for the fans, they should support the team big time. That will work out. So I think the number of factors that could have led to the poor performance that the team has, but all these factors can be worked on. Things can be turned around. Last season, Onduparaka struggled in the first round. In the second round, when Ahmed Fabio Borili came in and joining Sizo Kuti, and probably the technical bench, we did actually see results come through, and Onduparaka was about to get promoted to the Star Times Uganda Premier League. I think at this point it's a very big discussion. On the other side, you probably look at Paida Black Angels playing a game at home at Barokoro Stadium, a game that probably will be able to have numbers. And then, of course, the smaller issues would be the capacity of Barokoro Stadium. I don't think it's worth probably having every other person come through in there. So that means Paida has a condition of forcing to have their entry fees a little bit high so that they can restrict numbers, and of course they'll be able to manage the numbers in there. And then for Kalwa Football Club, this could be their second game, and importantly, I think it comes in there. And then on the other side, much as Arua Hill now plays in Gulu, this probably still has it's a team that has roots from West Nile. So I think those are important games to follow. Well, though, much as in crisis, we have shared our views. I think better next time, maybe, if this game on Sunday at Yumbe is played, that has the Namu team, of course, there should be better planning and programs drawn, because regional league games were postponed because of that reason. The Stanbic Uganda Cup draws is actually happening on 19th. That is after the deadline, probably being into the up to around, I think, midnight or probably 5 p.m. So for teams that would want to participate in this for purposes of making West Nile better, you could be 9 league, you could be a 5th division, 4th division, regional league, and probably big league and Uganda Premier League team. You need to so cause big league and Uganda Premier League, no qualifications, and of course teams from regional league and below, you'll go through the tests before you qualify.
Okay, and that's a very big one. We're going to be taking a break. When we come back, we shall be discussing a lot of things. But before that, I want us to talk about this season starting has not been just like you said in there. But looking at these clubs one by one, if you look at where the table is, the table shows a really a red zone for West Nile FUFA big league clubs. But now, though others have yet played 1 games, but do you see hopes of all these teams getting to somewhere or maybe avoiding relegation?
Well, it is too early. It's too early in the sense that the teams have just started. And I think the biggest assignment is to play the Black Angels that have just gotten into the league, because they're taking a long time without probably playing in there. So it is time they started looking at how they would actually be able to perform. For Onduparaka, it's just about turning the results the other way, of course, getting back into winning ways. For Carnival Football Club being home, definitely they have the crowd, and so they should be able to work things out. And I think the biggest thing that happens now in the region is for people to unite, to probably be able to put their energy behind the team. The same things they did to FUFA Drum or the province teams are the same things you'd expect them to do for these clubs. Pesa is Pesa, though it is also important to point the wrongs that probably somebody will be able to identify. But letting you know that running a club, you need to spend about 500 to 1 million shillings on daily basis, despite even having match allowances and stuff like that. So that means it's very expensive. You need at least 30 millions to run a club on a monthly basis. That minus salaries, minus probably other allowances, just focusing on the match. Training allowance and perhaps something small for the match day. And so that means apart from these expenses, we should be able to look at what can we do to better ourselves. Can we attract local sponsors? Can we see some of our own that are products that need billboards come through? Can we see the city come through and give Onuparaka money? Can we see Paida Town Council probably give Paida Black Angels money? Can we see district local government of Yumbe, the political district of Midigo probably give money to Calvert Football Club? Can we see all this probably right? Because a few days when I went for the Sia Bata, Sianats tournament, press conference or probably the launch, one of the things that probably popped out was how do we make the game grow better? And by that time, the chairman of LC3 one day, sub-county came through and said there's need for inclusivity. And I would think every other person in West Nile needs to wake up and start looking at this project being our project. The projects are not for the owners or persons who started them, but the projects are to sustain the West Nile region that probably deserves more entertainment, more play, more football, more fun.
Okay, and that's another interesting one. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll be coming back to give you more of some of the insights coming in from the international scene, but at the same time, some of the continental stories that are also moving on with big, interesting stories right there. This is West Nile Television. We are saying stay locked. Don't move away because we're coming back shortly to give you more of the updates coming right through. What about Thomas Tuchel becoming the head coach